Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be working in my traveler's notebook. Now, I had already started with what I'm going to be using in my spread today because I didn't expect to record this, but once I started pulling out all my stamps and my pattern paper, I had this vision and I thought maybe you guys would enjoy this spread, so I went ahead and started recording it. Anyways, I'm going to be using this beautiful stamp set from the Ton Stamp. And what I thought I would do was use my All Heart crepe paper pad and trim out all these little boxes and fill my frames with these boxes. Now these like little phrases say, yay for today, be you, you are here. And I felt like they went really well with the photo I'm documenting today. I'm documenting this photo of the senior marching band kids. My son, of course, is one of them. And I just felt like these little phrases made a lot of sense. Because I love that stamp set with the frames, I just went for it. I'm going to go ahead and trim my photo because obviously it's too long. Now I was playing with my Selphy printer, trying to figure out new sizes that I would probably like in my traveler's notebook. And I ended up with this size and I love it. And I'm sure I'm going to repeat this size again in my traveler's notebook because it looks pretty cool. Now, when I trim down my photos, when there's a lot of people like this, I really try really hard not to trim somebody's face off. So I always try to find that like middle space where I'm not trimming anybody off. And that's why it's kind of longer on one side, but I actually really like it. And I wanted to back up my photo, so I went ahead and grabbed another pattern paper from that paper pad, and I'm going to end up using it to back up my photo before I stick down my photo. By the way, I decided to use this pattern because it was very colorful, and those cards that I trimmed out were very colorful, so I needed a pattern that would bring the spread together. So that's why I decided to choose that striped pattern paper. It's really pretty, by the way. Anyways, I'm going to start stamping my frames. Now, I recommend that you use either like printer paper, very thin paper. I think this paper is like 35 pounds or probably less, because if I want to trim out the center of these frames, it's much easier if I'm not using cardstock. So I'm sticking to my printer paper. I'm going to stamp out a bunch of these frames, and then I'm going to trim out the center of each frame because, like I said, I want to back them up with those little cards that I trimmed out from my pattern paper. And I've shared way before layout using these frames, but I actually backed them up with photos of my son. So you can do whatever you like. I'll even stamp in some. I'll add embellishments. You can do whatever you want. This is the beauty of these little frames. I love stamp sets like that where you can kind of trim out the centers and use them in a different way. It's a lot of fun and very interactive. So I'm done fussy cutting out my frames. Now I'm going to start filling them out. I end up using a lot of phrases that go really well with my photo. These kids are hard workers. They are seniors. They worked really hard to get there. So just using like phrases like I love you or yay for today, be you, you are here. I just felt like those work really well with my photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and start filling out my frames. Some of the cards are going to be too big, and that's okay. I will trim them off. And actually one of the frames was much bigger than these cards. And again, that's okay because I end up using 2 cards to fill out one frame, and you wouldn't even tell. It kind of looked like one little mini card in a frame. So this is where I'm going to end up using 2 cards to fill out 1 frame. My little card was too short, and I just needed something to fill out the top portion. And I actually really like how this one turned out. I love the 2 different colors in 1 frame. Now, if you've noticed, I'm keeping my frames to the left side or the top because I wanted to have some space to add my title and my journaling. And what I'm going to do is use my Kelly Perky Retrograde Alpha stamps to stamp out seniors. And I'll also use my Feed Your Craft a Monthly Matter stamp set to add 2020. Now, I love that stamp set from Feed Your Craft. I use it for all my Traveler's Notebook covers. It has the months on there. It has the years. So, you can always use it on any of your spreads, especially if you like to stamp out the year. Now, once I stamp out Seniors 2020, I'll also go back into some of my Kelly Perky stamps and grab some smaller alphas to stamp band. I did want to remember that these were the marching band kids. Marching band was too long, so I just ended up adding band, and that's okay. And then I'll use the bottom portion right underneath my title to add my journaling later on throughout the video. Now that I have my title done, I kind of know where everything should go and nothing's going to be in the way of my title. So I will start stamping some more frames in the background. This is a great way to make the frames that I stamped on white cardstock pop and look like everything is like 3D or 2-dimensional, I guess. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to stamp a few here and there. And I just really love how it turns out. I'll even use the little stamps from the frame stamp set. Like there was a deer head. I'll fill out one of the frames with that. I think there's some words. One of them was congrats, and I'll fill out another frame with that. I'm just going to play around with it. There's so many phrases and words and little things in that stamp set that you could use to fill out your frames. And that's what I love about stamp sets like that. It's like you have so many options in one stamp set, and that's definitely something that makes me happy and worth my money. Okay, so I'm almost done filling out my frames. I do switch out my ink pad. I just wanted to add more pink to that corner. And once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and stick down all these frames. I really like how it's, coming together. I will also grab a pen and add like little hinges or nails to my frames to make them look more realistic and like they're hanging from the wall. But I do apologize for the headshots. It's really hard to kind of draw or journal and not get your head in screen, but I did try to edit out as much as possible. I'll also grab some puffy stars to add dimension. Now, at first I thought I would use the stars to represent every kid, but that would be way too much and it would make my little small layout way too busy. So I just stick to adding a few scattered them around my spread. I end up using some pink ones and black ones, and I really, really like how it's starting to come together. I'm almost done with my layout. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little subtitle for my journaling. I believe I end up using my Studio Calico Found and Collected subscription stamp and stamp out Remember This. I will type out my journaling, trim them down into strips, and add that right underneath it. And then I call my layout done. I just love how this turned out. The frames, the phrases, these kids. It's a favorite, you guys. I'm so happy I recorded it to share it with you guys. Anyways, don't forget, I add all the links for everything I use down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye!